in order to be the best version of ourselves, we have to get to the truth. So all progress, and it's interesting because Simon and I had this exchange, I don't know, a year ago or something.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you know, we were talking about things in the situation, and I just had the sense, I said, well, Simon, but what is the real truth here? And, you know, he hesitated, and I said, you know, when we get to the real truth, you'll know what to do.
Yeah.
Right. And so what it comes down to is, I've worked for years around courage that leads to confidence. But here's the new insight, Simon, and you were part of this process for me and for the people we work with. What we need to really find out and help people with is to discover the lies that are holding them back from being the best version of themselves. Exchange the lie for the truth of who you really are, and the person that's going to be the thought leader in the world, in your company, in your family, wherever, in relationship.
Yeah.
But so many of us are ruled unknowingly by the lie, like, I'm embarrassed by that, or I have fear around that, or I'm uncertain around that, or my professor said that, in my case, my professor said I was stupid and I would never be anything. Yeah. Well, and culturally, I wore that for a long time, and finally I had to identify that's not true. And I had to exchange it for the truth of my true identity is to fiercely encourage people to be the best version of themselves.
You know, it's so interesting because, you know, in the last year since we had that chat, and by the way, audience, it's not just me and Scott talking to each other. We're talking to everybody else. But you know, it's interesting because 95+% of the negative things we hear are in our head. You know, neuroscience has kind of demonstrated that. Unfortunately, they seem to get magnified. They seem to that seems to pull us even further and further away from the truth that's inside us if we listen to it more and more. And your work, I would say, kind of almost disrupts you from listening to that voice and prevents it from getting louder, so you can reconnect a little bit more with yourself. That's how I see it now.
and what's so exciting about it is change can happen instantly.
Instantly, absolutely.
Right. Once we identify that and we take action and we replace the lie with the truth, then we have the courage and the confidence to act, to go to our wife or our daughter or whoever in this situation and say, you know what, I love you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I haven't said that, but I love you, and have that experience and be who you really are. This great version of who you are. And we're realizing identity has to be worked on in culture in these businesses. And when you're a CEO and you're leading out of a false identity, Terry and Simon, you're going to do things that are not good for your people and not good for the culture of the company. So we go in and we exchange that and we teach them how to do that. And it's so amazing what we're seeing happen.
You know, you know, I often say presence is a point where manifestation becomes action. Yeah. So you're at that point, you're struggling, you know, you just can't get this answer. You know it's there, but you don't know why. And that moment when you release the anxiety of the past and you drop the angst of the future, you only have now. And when you have now, you've dropped out all of the distractions, and all of a sudden everything comes to light. Like, oh, I get it. And that's what we're on with what you were saying, Scott. Yeah, great input.
Yeah. So we're really taking what we've been doing, and instead of starting with courage and confidence now, we're starting with the identity, with the simple question, Simon, who do you say you are? Terry, who do you say you are? Yeah. And it's shocking what people write down, all the lies, and it's not true. And then when they write them down, they go, oh my gosh, that's not me. And then you ask them the question, who are you really?